every team's biggest need heading into the NFL draft. We'll go division by division here. The only problem is that some of these needs can't actually be addressed in the NFL draft, but you'll see what I mean. The Kansas City Chiefs need to relax. This team was supposed to take a step back after trading Tyreek Hill, and instead they said, how about we shove another Lombardi in your mouth? Apparently they don't need anything as long as Mahomes, Kelsey, and Andy Reid are around, but they're gonna get something, which honestly doesn't seem fair. They shouldn't be allowed to have draft picks, at least not until Mahomes retires. The Denver Broncos need Russell Wilson to be a normal person. Let's start there. No more private office, no more let's ride, no more danger witch, none of that. And I think getting Sean Payton will help, but honestly Russ may be too far gone. There isn't anything in this draft that will turn this team around by itself, but maybe that's a good thing because the Broncos don't have a first round pick, and they don't have many picks after that either. The Las Vegas Raiders need an intervention for Josh McDaniels because if he signs one more former Patriot in a misguided effort to replicate the success he had in New England, I am going to throw up. In just 2 years, he's brought in Chandler Jones, Daron Harmon, Brandon Bolden, Jakob Johnson, Jarrett Stidham, Justin Herron, Jermaine Illuminor, Jacoby Myers, Jimmy G, Brian Hoyer, Philip Dorsett. Hell, he even brought in Danny Amendola as an assistant coach. Brother, seek help. The Los Angeles Chargers need a receiver. Aha, you thought I wouldn't give any real draft recommendations. Gotta keep you on your toes. Seems like one of Mike Williams or Keenan Allen, or both, are hurt all the time, so adding another receiver here would be helpful. That way Justin Herbert's not throwing to Walmart greeters by week 7. But the Chargers also need some kind of exorcism. Just something to prevent them from choking in the most spectacular way possible on a regular basis. The Buffalo Bills need the Chiefs and Bengals to fall off the face of the earth. The Bills have looked like a strong contender for a few years now. They've got the star quarterback, they've got the pieces around him, and they keep falling short because the Chiefs and Bengals are better, and they keep eliminating them from the playoffs. Buffalo's path to the Super Bowl is clear. They just need Cincinnati and Kansas City to be banned from the NFL. Is that so much to ask? The Miami Dolphins need the helmet equivalent of those padded rooms they put mental patients in. At this point, Tua has more head trauma than a professional boxer, which is incredible because in the NFL, if you even think about hitting the quarterback, you get arrested and tried for murder. But if Tua can stay healthy, the sky's the limit for the Dolphins. No, Skyler, not you. The New England Patriots need to make a first-round pick that doesn't suck. In the last decade, this is how the first round has gone for New England. No pick, Dominique Easley, Malcolm Brown, no pick, Isaiah Wynn and Sony Michel, N'Keal Harry, no pick, Mac Jones, and Cole Strange. Jury's still out on Mac and Cole, but overall, that is a brutal stretch of first-round picks. Hopefully, the Patriots actually draft someone useful this year, but knowing Bill, it'll be a D2 punt returner. The New York Jets need to make this Aaron Rodgers trade already. How is this still a thing? Everyone knows and acknowledges that Rodgers is going to be a Jet, and yet we've been in limbo over it for a month. Green Bay, New York, just so you know, this little game of chicken is not cute, and it's driving us all insane. Grow up, get it done, and let Rodgers continue his Brett Favre tribute by going to New York and falling short of expectations. The Jacksonville Jaguars need sports betting to remain illegal in the state of Florida. Look, if the betting apps themselves won't work, then they won't have to worry about their wayward wagering wideout getting whacked by the league again. Keep an eye on him during away games, though. We don't need him getting in trouble as soon as he crosses state lines. All it takes is one problematic parlay placement before he's past the point of no return. The Houston Texans need a quarterback. The only problem is they might be screwed. If Bryce Young goes number 1, rumor has it CJ Stroud isn't going to go to Houston, which means they could be left with the ultimate project quarterback Anthony Richardson or the guy who eats a banana with the peel on it, Will Levis. They got to figure something out because if they go into another season with Daddy Longneck at quarterback, there's going to be problems. The Indianapolis Colts also need a quarterback, but specifically one who isn't old, washed up, or straight up bad. Now, they may luck into CJ Stroud in this draft, but I also wouldn't put it past them to screw things up entirely. After all, their owner is Jim Irsay, and he is certifiably insane. The Tennessee Titans need an elite wide receiver. Finding elite wide receivers is no easy task. That's why when you find one, you hold on to them tight and you never let them go. Now, I know the Titans would never do such a thing, so hopefully they can find a top receiver in this class and keep him forever and definitely not trade him to a Super Bowl contending team, giving them one of the most lethal quarterback wide receiver combos in the league. The Baltimore Ravens, guess what I'm going to say here, need to sign Lamar Jackson. I don't know who's at fault here, whether it's Lamar, the front office, both, neither, Lamar's mom, but this needs to be resolved. Now, I know most teams can't say that their backup quarterback is a Pro Bowler, but something tells me if Lamar's not the quarterback here to start the season, the Ravens will be what's the word? The Cincinnati Bengals need a doctor because a doctor a day keeps the apple away. Wait, I'm gonna mess that up. Point is, Eli Apple's finally off this team, and they need to make sure he doesn't come back. Now the Bengals can worry about finding a corner who isn't complete diarrhea. There's a bunch of good corners in the first round. Problem is, they may all get taken before the Bengals pick, but either way, losing Apple is addition by subtraction. The Pittsburgh Steelers need all the anti-aging cream in the state of Pennsylvania. They just traded for Allen Robinson, who actually reminds me a lot of one-armed basketball player Hansel Emmanuel. He's a baller, but I'm not sure he has anything left. I'm so sorry. Look, the Steelers are great at drafting and developing wide receivers, so maybe they can nurse one back to health too. But considering the less than massive investment they made in him, you know, trading back 14 picks in the 7th round, I'm not sure they're expecting much out of him either. Speaking of trying to recapture past glory, if the Steelers find a time machine, the Browns should jump in because they need Deshaun Watson to be the guy they traded for on the field. on. They didn't mortgage their future just to get a glorified Gardner Minshew. They mortgaged their future for the MVP caliber player that Watson was in Houston. If they don't get that, then they just have a pervert and a bad football player. But maybe that's what the Browns deserve. Moving on over to the NFC, but before we do me a favor and give this video a like if you're still here, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Love you, thank you, let's keep going. The Philadelphia Eagles need them some Bijan Robinson. Why? Because it sounds like fun. Take one of the best, most dynamic offenses in the NFL and give them a potentially elite running back to round things out, because everyone else. Also, Rashad Penny is their RB1 right now, and he's held together by toothpicks and bubblegum. Another reason it would be a good move, they could keep him from the Dallas Cowboys, who also need them some Bijan Robinson. The husk of Ezekiel Elliott has been released, and this offense could use another weapon. They did just trade for Brandon Cooks, but he's so old he could turn to dust any second. What's that? Brandon Cooks is only 29? There's no way that's true. I demand an investigation. There is no way. The New York Giants also need a running back, except that running back is Saquon Barkley, and they just need to keep him. Barkley's not happy about the franchise tag, and I don't blame him. It's just a way to milk running backs for all they're worth without having to commit to them. But either way, the Giants need to keep him around, because if they ask Daniel Jones to carry an offense himself like Lamar Jackson's had to do for years, good luck with that. The Washington Commanders need nothing. Okay, obviously that's not true, but now's not the time to talk about players they need to add, changes they need to make, because they've already made the best possible move of the offseason. Dan Snyder is selling the team. No longer will the Commanders have to deal with this creepy, lying, conniving cartoon villain leading their organization. Just bask in it, Washington fans. Worry about the rest later. The Green Bay Packers need to get this Aaron Rodgers trade done. Yes, I'm taking another opportunity to yell about this. The Packers need a fresh start, and we're finally going to see what Jordan Love has to offer, but we can't do all that officially until you get Mr. Darkness and DMT the hell out. So get it done. And then maybe draft a receiver or a tight end too. That couldn't hurt. The Detroit Lions need just one more playmaker. Just one more guy who can take the top off a defense and maybe develop into a top-tier receiver alongside Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, when I originally recorded this video, this part was supposed to be a joke where I'd be like, oh, they actually have Jameson Williams and he's going to play this year. But now he got himself suspended 6 games for doing his best Calvin Ridley impression. So I guess the only thing the Lions need is the number for the gambling addiction hotline. The Minnesota Vikings need to stop lying to themselves. Now, this might apply more to their fan base than their actual team, but either way, they can't let their record trick them into thinking they're actually good ever again. Anyone with eyes knew that their 13-4 record was a mirage, evidenced by their negative point differential for the season. So they need to approach this draft as if they're several steps away from being serious contenders. Because they are. The Chicago Bears need Aaron Rodgers to get out. Just kidding, I'm not doing this again. But it will be nice for Bears fans that their owner is finally out of their division. No, what they really need is for DJ Moore to be that guy. Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs and leveled up. Jalen Hurts got AJ Brown and leveled up. Can DJ Moore be that guy for Justin Fields? If so, we could be looking at one of the better offenses in football. If not, we could be looking at another last place finish in the NFC North. The Arizona Cardinals need Jesus. They are shaping up to be maybe the worst team in football next year, and there is nothing in this draft that can save them. They went 4-13 last year. Hopkins is on his way out. Budda Baker demanded a trade. Kyler Murray's going to miss half the season, and they just hired Murr from Impractical Jokers as their head coach. Cardinal fans, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but at least when it gets better, it might be with this guy. The Los Angeles Rams need some polish so they can keep that Lombardi trophy from 2 years ago nice and shiny. Look, they went all in for that Super Bowl. We know this. The them pick strategy worked great, and I'm sure they wouldn't change a thing. But now, this is what we knew would happen. There was always going to be a fall off, so you just got to deal with it and clutch that Lombardi tight. The Seattle Seahawks need a stack of thank you cards so they can send one directly to the Broncos at least once a week. Getting Russ off this roster and replacing him with an objectively better and cheaper option in Geno Smith has single-handedly kept this team competitive, and they also have Denver's number 5 overall pick this year on top of it. Seahawks country? Let's ride. The San Francisco 49ers need more day 3 draft picks because apparently those are the only picks they need. Their hit rate on these is absurd. Here are just some of the picks that they've made in the 5th round or later the past few years. Brock Purdy, Talanoa Hufanga, Elijah Mitchell, Jawan Jennings, Dre Greenlaw, and George Kittle. Honestly, if teams come calling about Trey Lance, just ask for their 7th round pick in the next 5 drafts. You'll probably turn him into 5 Pro Bowlers. The New Orleans Saints need Taysom Hill to continue evolving into the ultimate football weapon if they want to be remotely competitive. He already plays quarterback, running back, tight end, special teams. It's time for him to play all of the other positions at the same time and create an offense, defense, special teams, and coaching staff comprised of nothing but Taysom Hill. Actually, Chris Olave can stay too because he's really good, but otherwise only Taysom Hill. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers need Tom Brady to change his mind. This is the only thing that would keep this team out of the basement this year. After all, they only went 8-9 with Tom Brady, and replacing him with Baker Mayfield is, let's just say, not an upgrade. This team is another case of it's going to get worse before it gets better, but hey, at least you got Rashad White. He's pretty cool. The Carolina Panthers need to not up the 1st overall pick. Now, I don't have the answer for exactly how to do that, but considering what they gave up, they need to get this pick right. It sounds like it's going to be Bryce Young, and I think that's the right move. The only concern is that he will be literally the smallest human to ever play quarterback in the NFL, but other than that, he's as safe as it gets. I bet you thought for the Falcons I was going to yell about Kyle Pitts again, huh? Well, you're right. The Atlanta Falcons need to use Kyle Pitts more. Pitts was 22nd in the league in snaps per game last year, behind guys like Cade Otton, Daniel Bellinger, and Trey McBride. And while he was was targeted a decent amount when he was on the field, it was baffling how often he wasn't. Like, how do you not at least use him as a decoy? Even though he doesn't deserve that, everything should be running through Kyle Pitts. He's the best weapon they have, and he should be the main guy. You know what? No, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. There you have it. Every team's biggest need heading into the NFL draft. Again, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is a constant stream of sports and sarcasm, so if that's your thing, stick around. There's plenty more coming. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.